this thing which is twinkling of stars. Now why do stars appears to be twinkling or they are shining? That is because the lights coming from stars are coming from a very long distance, and now they are entering, suppose this is our earth, then the earth's atmosphere are in layers, right? So those lights suffer different kind of refractions, all these lights different refraction from different layers. So multiple refraction gives multiple direction of rays which are coming or which are incident on the earth's surface, and that is why we find them to twinkling, right? Then another thing, the advanced and delayed sunset. What happens? This is also part of refraction, that this is our earth, that is the atmosphere. Now when real position of sun is here, sun rays which are coming like this, they were supposed to go like this, but now they are traveling from rarer to denser, so they went towards the normal, and hence they reached the surface before they were actually supposed to. The sun should have been at this position when it should have started, when we should be able to see it, but actually we get a early sunrise, and same ways a delayed sunset, right? Actually in this figure, this is where they have shown you the sunset as sunrise, and that is the sunset. So at sunrise, when sun has to be at this position, at horizon, then we should be able to see it. But actually even before the sun is at horizon, we are able to see the sun rays, because lights get refracted in the atmosphere and it reaches the earth's surface. Same ways the delayed sunset is also due to the same reason. This another very phenomenal thing which happens in our atmosphere, which is called total internal reflection. We have already studied about it, but due to total internal reflection, we are able to see what we call it as mirage effect. What is mirage effect? In hot summers or just in summers, we see watery effect on roads, which in our stories are only explained or coined in the stories of desert areas, where a traveler who was lost in the desert was able to see water at some distance, but more and more it went closer to the water went far away, right? So that is just an optical illusion called mirage effect. So what is this mirage effect and how it is formed? It is formed at desert areas and the roads, hot summer roads, where you can see that watery effect in front of the vehicle, which is also at some long distance, right? So what exactly happens? See, I'll explain you in this way. I won't go by the diagram. I'll explain you in my own way. See, suppose this is hot sand or the desert area. Okay, we have a tree here. Very bad looking tree, but we still managed to get a tree. Now, due to the heated this land, very hot land, whatever air which is in contact with this surface gets heated up or gets warm. Now we know that hot air or warm air will rise up, right? So hot air is rising up. So overall, what is the density change? At the bottom there will be least density air, whereas the density will keep on increasing as we go on higher and higher. So at these points, actually the air gets differentiated into very thin layers of different densities. Higher the density is on the higher side, on the more height, and the minimum density at the least. So when light ray which is incident on this tree gets reflected from here, the ray is actually now traveling from a denser to rarer, again a denser to rarer, again denser to rarer. So light is undergoing multiple refraction from each layer, and every time it is going from denser to rarer. So that is why it will keep getting away and away and away from the normal. So at the time when it touches the ground, it touches almost grazing it. So what happens? The critical angle becomes way more than the air and land interface, and that is why the light gets reflected from this point, and to our observer the light ray would be will appear to be coming from this point. So it will find an image of this tree. So this is an optical illusion due to different density of air which has formed due to hotness of this land, right? This is called mirage effect, and it is seen desert areas or hot sunny days on the roads, right? Next, another thing, this phenomena is called scattering of light. Now what is scattering? Scattering is partial reflection of light. So due to suspended particles, air drops, other thing, the lights get partially reflected and partially transmitted. So that is called scattering, right? Now scattering is also inversely proportional to wavelength, but this time, as refraction was inversely proportional to wavelength, this time scattering is more inversely proportional to wavelength. That means more, in a simpler way, on physics terms, this scattering is inversely proportional to wavelength raised to power 4. So whatever effect was happening in case of dispersion, 4 times of that effect will happen in case of scattering. So that is why scattering gives rise to phenomena like why sky is blue. See, the color of sky is blue because of this thing. Which color? This is Earth's surface and this is the atmosphere. Very bad shaped, but please consider this is our atmosphere. Okay. Now, sunlight which is coming straight away, straight down, they will get scattered. And when scattering will happen, which of these color will get highly scattered? The color having minimum wavelength, which is this part, violet, indigo and blue. That is why this part gets scattered most, and that is why sky appears blue. That is the reason sky appears blue. Now, during dusk and dawn, during morning and evening time, sky appears at this color, orangish red. Why does that happen? During morning and evening time, the sunlight is traveling like this. It has to cover way more longer distance in atmosphere as compared to the normal daytime, right? Due to this high distance, this part which is scattered most does not even reach the surface of Earth. The part of the light which is scattered less, this is the only part which is able to reach or touch the surface of Earth, and that is the orangish red part. That is why sky appears orangish red during morning and evening time, whereas sky appears blue throughout the daytime. These were the few phenomena associated with refraction of light in the atmosphere, and we have already studied about the eye and the various parts and its function. So let's move on to the question and answers.